And a good Monday morning to you. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at water vapor imagery, and you can see where rain is falling off in the southern coastal areas of New England right now, even a little bit of mixed precipitation types working into the northern Hudson Valley. And there had been a little mixed sort of wet snowflakes in a few spots as well. Now, this precipitation is associated with this nor'easter that's off the coast. You can see the kink in the 500 hectopascal flow right here. And this is kind of what we call a negative tilt trough. This is more or less just a mean wave trough. And this whole system is being picked up and pushed out. So what it's doing is we have temperatures that are a little bit marginal right now. Not necessarily in northern Vermont where temperatures are still in the single digits above zero, but some 34, 35, 40 degree temperatures trying to make a run, and that's going to force raindrops to fall on freezing on contact with the ground surfaces, and mainly a travel issue tonight. Now, looking at, let's take a look at the zone in on the visibles here. So precipitation, you can see, really shows up. It's this kind of broad trough and whatnot. And it's going to be a messy mix of precipitation types, eventually getting colder aloft during the mid to late morning tomorrow. So all of this will taper off with some bursts of wet snow and then push on out of the region to the north and east and taper off tomorrow afternoon. Winter weather advisories are issued by the National Weather Service pretty much across the state of Vermont. And we're looking at multiple precipitation types to fall, especially tonight with a couple tenths of an inch of glazing. Let's check the latest computer modeling. So this is our storm off to the south and east, producing some rain. This is valid about 7 o'clock this morning. This is 1 o'clock this afternoon. We start to see just a little bit of a mixed precipitation type start to work in. It's very, very light. And this is a difficult forecast because most of this nor'easter keeps the precipitation a little further off to the east. And there's a little bit of a drying trend taking place. This is valid at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The next shot here is 7 o'clock this evening. And even though it's not showing it here, and based on the European model, there's going to be some mixed precipitation types in this particular area here and then scooting north. So in the next panel, you can see how this might develop. That's valid at about 10 o'clock this evening, and it's starting to pick up on it and then push it through, and then basically you're seeing it tail off to a little bit of a moderate burst of what looks to be some sleet kind of mixed in with some snow, and we're looking at probably 1 to 2 inches, maybe up to 3 inches locally in some spots. You put it all together. This is valid about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then eventually that's 4 o'clock in the evening, 4 o'clock late in the day tomorrow, Tuesday, and then that pushes off to the north and east. Okay, so looking at the latest freezing rain, this is how it's going to be shaping up. This is valid at 17Z, or let's make this 18Z. That's 1 o'clock this afternoon, and you can see just a tiny bit around Route 9, this particular area. Could see some in the higher elevations along the southern Green Mountains, could see a little bit of freezing rain. This is kind of fall apart and then eventually fill in. So as we get into the period here, we're talking about 4 o'clock in the morning Tuesday, and you can see it kind of works in across Washington County, some parts of western parts of Vermont, eastern parts of Vermont, and so forth. Very difficult forecast, but that precipitation will fall as freezing rain, and we're into 10 o'clock in the morning hours tomorrow. That's when we're starting to see a transition to wet snow from sleet and freezing rain, and then beyond that point, it's pretty much over here, long gone by 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Looking at the HREF model, this is valid about 1 o'clock, this is valid at 9 o'clock this morning. That's 10, 11, 12, and we're into 1 o'clock here, and you can see little bits of rain mostly depicted, and then some freezing rain, some minor stuff. And as we get into the colder temperatures tonight, this is valid at 7 p.m. this evening. You can see what's going on here where we have some freezing rain and eventually a big mix, and then eventually some wet snow transitioning. That's about 10 o'clock in the morning. And by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's starting to exit out of the region from the Northeast Kingdom. That's it from here, Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.